And here is the Writer's Almanac for Monday, the 8th of July, 2019. It's the birthday of the poet Jean de La Fontaine, born in Château-Thierry in the Champagne region of France in 1621. Author of the famous Fables, came out in 1668 through 1693, including The Tortoise and the Hare, The City Mouse and the Country Mouse, and The Goose that Laid the Golden Eggs. It was on this day, 1918, that Ernest Hemingway was wounded serving as a Red Cross ambulance driver in World War I in Italy. The following January, he went back to his parents' home in Oak Park, Illinois, recuperating from his injury, walked around with a cane, and found himself a small-town war hero. He was invited to come speak at schools and social clubs about his experience in the war, and he always took with him his blood-stained, shrapnel-torn trousers. The wound that he received would become the central event of his novel A Farewell to Arms, which he considered his best book. And it's the birthday of the writer who said God doesn't like crap in art. J.F. Powers, born in Jacksonville, Illinois, 1917, grew up Roman Catholic in a town of Protestants. 1943, he joined a retreat for priests at St. John's Abbey in Collegeville, Minnesota, and not long after, he wrote a story, Lions' Hearts, Leaping Does, which was published and which launched his literary career. J.F. Powers was determined to be an artist, to devote himself to his art. His father had been a piano prodigy who gave up his artistic dreams for an office job, and Powers refused to do the same. His first collection, Prince of Darkness, came out in 1947. It sold very well, and in 1962, his novel Mort Durbin won the National Book Award. J.F. Powers, who said, I think it's possible to write something, for me to write something, that even God might like, not as a soul seeking salvation, but just as entertainment for God. This may be blasphemous to say, but I believe it. It's the birthday of the psychiatrist Elisabeth Kübler-Ross, born in Zurich in 1926. Went to medical school, married an American, moved to the United States, went to the University of Chicago, worked with terminally ill patients. And from that work, she wrote a book called On Death and Dying. It came out in 1969. It was a big bestseller in which she outlined the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And it's the birthday of the writer Shirley Ann Grau, born in New Orleans in 1929, grew up in Montgomery, Selma, Alabama, educated at finishing schools. She said, I was probably the only 17-year-old who knew precisely how to set a table if I happened to be giving a dinner for the Pope. She applied for a job in the English department at Tulane. The head of the department told her there will be no females in the English department. So she got married, she began having children, and she kept writing. Her first book was The Black Prince. She was just 35 when she won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction in 1965 for The Keepers of the House, about a wealthy white man who marries his black housekeeper. Here's a poem by Mick Cochran, How to Sacrifice. Pivot in the box, square up, surrender to the pitcher, slide your top hand up the barrel, don't squeeze, keep your hands soft, bend your knees. You need to keep your balance. Let the ball come to you. Be patient. Don't stab at it. Point your bat, absorb the shock, and hope the ball stays fair. Afterwards, expect no high fives, no headlines, no contract extension. No one bunts himself onto an all-star team. You do it because that runner on first, he needs to come home. He's your teammate. He's your brother. He's your son. And you're the guy who still knows how to lay one down. How to Sacrifice, a poem by Mick Cochran from Southern Poetry Review, used here by permission. And that's the Writer's Almanac for Monday, July the 8th. Be well, do good work, keep in touch.